As Mike said earlier, the Innovation Fund has been perhaps the most visible piece of the WIRED initiative in the region for a very obvious reason. We know people are interested in regionalism and collaboration and workforce development, but sometimes it takes money to get people to the table. Maybe that's the elusive fourth step in Rich's plan, but it has been.
No. If you pay
that would be a little.
If you pay the women money, that's a whole different game.
But it certainly has been an opportunity to get partners around the table that may have not considered it before. The WIRED Innovation Fund is approximately half of the entire WIRED grant that we received from the Department of Labor. $2.5 million was allocated early on in the process, and to date we have invested approximately $1.75 million of that already, leaving about $750,000 in the balance. And as you know, as Mike mentioned earlier, we have plans and allocations for that remaining $750,000, one of which is this large piece going towards building the water generation. This is just the right click. Oops, left click. Here we go. The investments are of three types. The first, there have been 34 projects that the Innovation Fund has invested in to date. 22 of those are exploratory investments, which are smaller investments up to $35,000. And they are designed to get partners around the table. It's a planning process or a concept building process or even a study to be done that will advance a talent development solution. An example of which is we funded Wisconsin Community Services to gather a group of partners around the table to plan education and connection and connecting ex-offenders to opportunities for employment in Milwaukee, Racine, and Kenosha counties. I'm sorry, Racine, Milwaukee, and Waukesha counties. Another example would be a study we funded, which is leading to this announcement today of building the water generation, and that was a study being performed right now by Discovery World to ascertain all of the programs currently in K through 12 institutions around water, and inventory those programs, do a needs assessment, and see what gaps there are and what programs can be put into place. Demonstration investments are up to $100,000, and we have funded implementation investments as well are up to $250,000. We funded 12 total of those two types of larger investments in two rounds. The first round was in June of 2008, and the second round was in December of 2008. The Building the Water Generation initiatives and two other initiatives will comprise round 3 of the Innovation Fund, and those will be launched separately in a series of targeted RFPs over the next few months. An example of a demonstration or implementation investment would be there is an initiative to train Hmong incumbent workers and native Spanish-speaking workers in foundational manufacturing skills in their native language, and to build their English as a second language skills at the same time, giving them kind of a leg up into a career ladder in advanced manufacturing. That's a very specific training-based program, but in implementation investments can range all the way up to our investment in the launch of BizStart's Venture Track, and which supports and encourages entrepreneurship in the 7-county region. Maybe not the number one priority, but all of the Innovation Fund investments are required to have a partnership component. And this is important on two levels. Of course, on a micro level, to get all of the partners around the table leads to better outcomes for each individual project. And certainly the WIRED initiative and the RWA is very interested in training and in improving programming around workforce development. But on the micro level, the more that we build links between institutions that previously hadn't worked together, or make connections that previously weren't there, the more that type of behavior becomes second nature, and the more likely it is that those connections will stay in place after the wired grant is over. And the clock is ticking on that. It may be December, it may be next June, but eventually we'll lose our incentive. We will not have that carrot to bring to the table, and we hope to have fostered enough of these partnerships where that behavior is so second nature that the network will remain in place after the funding is gone. And as Mike said, that network can be leveraged to gain existing resources from other sources. Now, if you were to take each of the 34 projects that we've invested in and draw a line between all of the partners in each individual project times 34 projects and the various priority projects being worked on by task force members, this is what the RWA's network looks like today. Now, I skipped the part where you have to invest in very sophisticated software and learn how to use it, but that's what you would come up with. This is the RWA today. It has grown from a project of the 3 workforce boards and a few staff members to this network. And this is what we hope to leave behind when the wired funding ends in either December or June. Yes?
What's that most densely?
That is the Think Insurance Initiative, which involves dozens of insurance companies, colleges, and private community-based organizations and foundations. The lead on that is the Foundation for Independent Colleges. You'll see some of the clusters are the individual projects, but there's a lot of overlap. You'll see all of 4 technical colleges heavily in the middle, linked to several different projects, all the 4-year colleges in the region, and the workforce boards. It's quite interesting to see. So the more that we get all these excellent institutions in the region to recognize that aligning their resources and linking their efforts and aligning their budgets around the same goals, that the impacts and the outcomes will be increased for everyone and prosperity for the region will be accelerated.